All right, you filthy animals, back for more. Think you know Christmas tunes, huh? Well, strap in, Buttercup, because today we're diving deep into a goddamn Christmas classic, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, a song with a story wilder than a drunken elf on Black Friday. And joining me today, we've got a bona fide Christmas music expert to spill all the juicy secrets.
I wouldn't say expert, but I've definitely spent way too much time obsessing over this stuff.
Oh, come on, don't be so modest. You're like the goddamn Christmas music Wikipedia. So let's get this party started. First off, Brenda Lee.
Yeah.
Little Miss Dynamite, belting out this holiday anthem when she was like 13. 13. I was still picking my nose and trying to figure out how to use a goddamn zipper at that age.
It's pretty mind-blowing, right? Like, how do you even have that much vocal power at 13?
Seriously. It's like she was born with a voice smoother than Santa's milk and cookies.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that blows my mind. The song didn't become a hit right away.
Yeah, it's a bit of a head-scratcher, isn't it? You'd think a song that catchy would have shot straight to the top of the charts.
I know, right? It's like the musical equivalent of finding a $20 bill in your pocket. Pure goddamn joy. So what the hell happened?
Well, you gotta remember, this was 1958. The world was a different place. Rock and roll was still pretty new and edgy, and Christmas music was, well, pretty traditional.
So basically, the world wasn't ready for a little 13-year-old belting out a rockabilly Christmas jam.
Pretty much. It took a few years for the song to gain traction. Actually, it wasn't until 1960, after Brenda Lee had a couple of other hits, that Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree really started climbing the charts.
So it was a slow burn, huh? Like a Christmas fruitcake, aging to perfection.
You could say that. And you know what really gave it a second wind?
Oh, I know this one. Home Alone. Right?
Bingo! That movie, in 1990, introduced the song to a whole new generation of kids who grew up associating it with Christmas shenanigans and booby traps.
Makes sense. Macaulay Culkin, that little scamp, single-handedly boosted this song's popularity. But get this, the song actually hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in December 2023.
65 years. Can you believe it?
It's insane. Talk about a late bloomer. I mean, the song's older than my goddamn grandpa, and it's still topping the charts.
It really goes to show the staying power of a great song. It's like a fine wine, it just gets better with age. And speaking of aging, have you heard about the Spanish version with the AI vocals?
Oh yeah, that's some seriously freaky shit, taking 13-year-old Brenda Lee's voice and making her sing in Spanish decades later.
I know, right? It's both creepy and cool at the same time. Like, technology is amazing, but also kind of terrifying.
I hear you. But let's move on to something a little less dystopian. What about that cover by those British comedians? Mel Smith or something like that.
Kim Wilde and Mel Smith. That was back in '87 for Comic Relief.
Ah, comic relief. Those Brits sure know how to have a laugh for a good cause.
And they did a damn good job of it. That version peaked at #3 in the UK. One of the most successful Christmas charity singles ever.
Really? I had no idea it was that big. So what was it like? Was it a straight-up cover, or did they, make it funny?
Oh, they definitely injected their own brand of humor into it.
Yeah.
The video was hilarious, too, full of celebrities, puppets, the whole shebang.
Puppets. Now I gotta see this. Wasn't Rolf Harris in it, too? The wobbleboard guy?
He was, actually, but let's just say, given his legal troubles, they've conveniently edited him out of the video now.
Good riddance. Okay, so we've got the OG Brenda Lee version, a Spanish AI freakout, and a British comedy classic. Hit me with some other notable covers. What about Casey Musgraves? Didn't she do one?
She did in 2019 with Camila Cabello. It's a nice version, but it didn't make as big a splash as some of the others.
Well, can't win them all, right? What about the Biebs? Even he couldn't resist this Christmas banger.
Nope, even the Biebs got in on the action. Released his version in 2020. Amazon exclusive, of course.
Figures. Got to keep those believers happy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've got country stars, pop icons, even the Biebs jumping on the Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree bandwagon. This is starting to feel like a goddamn Christmas carol for the ages. But before we wrap up this tinsel-tastic deep dive, I want to throw a curveball your way.
Oh.
I'm intrigued. So the song came out in '58, right? Imagine if it had been a mega hit right from the start. Bigger than Santa's sack on Christmas Eve. What do you think Christmas music would sound like today?
Whoa, that's a mind-boggling question. Let me think about that for a second. It'd be a whole different ballgame, that's for sure. Like, imagine if that rockabilly beat, that energy Brenda Lee poured into it, became like the blueprint for all future holiday tunes.
Right, we'd be headbanging to Silent Night, doing the goddamn twist to Jingle Bells.
Instead of all the sappy ballads we're so used to, we'd be rocking around to some seriously amped up carols. Picture Elvis shaking his pelvis to "Oh Holy Night,"
Dude, that'd be insane. Blue Christmas wouldn't stand a chance. Instead of cozying up by the fireplace, we'd be moshing around the Christmas tree.
But let's not forget, Elvis himself actually helped pave the way for rock and roll Christmas tunes, right? I mean, his Christmas album in '57 was a smash hit. So maybe, maybe rocking around the Christmas tree fitting into that landscape wouldn't have been such a stretch.
True, true. But there's something about this song becoming a hit later on that feels right. Like it was waiting for the world to catch up to its energy.
It's a testament to its staying power, right?
Yeah.
It didn't need instant fame to become a classic. It snuck up on us through movies, radio play, those endless covers. And speaking of covers, we've touched on a few already, like the Kim and Mel comedy Gold, Casey Musgrave's take. But there's one that really blew my mind.
Oh, you mean Cyndi Lauper?
Bingo! Cyndi freaking Lauper tackled Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree back in '98, no less. I mean, she's the queen of '80s pop, not exactly known for jingle bells and reindeer.
I know, right? It's so out of left field. Yet it makes total sense. Cindy's always been a wild card, defying genres and expectations. Did she at least, put her own spin on it, or did she play it straight?
Oh, she definitely syndified it. Her version is drenched in synths, total '80s pop vibe, but it still keeps that core energy, that infectious beat. It's actually pretty damn fun.
That's the beauty of the song, man. It's a chameleon. It adapts to any style, any artist. It's like the musical equivalent of a little black dress. You can dress it up, dress it down. It always works.
Great analogy. It's that simple yet solid foundation that makes it so versatile. Anyone can make it their own.
Okay, so we've got Cyndi Lauper rocking out, Alabama getting their twang on. This song's like a musical Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
But wait, there's another cover that takes the cake for most unexpected. You ready for this?
Don't tell me the Pogues.
Nope. Even better. The frickin' Jets.
The Jets. Those bubblegum pop teens from the '80s.
You got it. And this wasn't even during their peak. They covered it in 1990, after the teeny bopper craze had died down. Who would have thought?
Wow, that is a curveball. I never pictured them taking on a Christmas classic, so what's it like? A saccharine sweet disaster.
Honestly, it's surprisingly decent. They kept the upbeat tempo, it infused it with their signature 80s pop sound, but, with a sprinkle of holiday cheer. It's kind of cute in a nostalgic, looking back at your childhood self kind of way.
It's wild how this one song, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, has managed to, bridge generations, genres, everything. It's like a musical Rosetta Stone connecting artists you'd never imagine. And somehow it keeps that magic alive.
Right. That's what makes it so damn special. It's more than just a song. It's a shared experience. Childhood memories, family gatherings, that pure, unadulterated holiday joy. It's all baked into those 4 minutes of music.
It's a cultural touchstone. It's the soundtrack to a million Christmas moments. This one song brings people together no matter their age, their taste in music, even what language they speak.
Damn right. And to think it all started with a 13-year-old Brenda Lee in a recording booth back in '58. Mind-blowing, isn't it?
Talk about the power of a song, huh? This one stood the test of time, and then some. But it gets me thinking. We've talked about how the song's popularity evolved, its slow burn to success, that whole roller coaster ride. But has the meaning of the song itself changed?
Ooh, now that's a good question. I mean, on the surface, it's just about having fun around the Christmas tree. But I bet rocking around meant something totally different back in the '50s, like picture poodle skirts and sock hops, not exactly a wild rave scene.
Exactly. Back then, rockin' around was probably pretty tame, a family-friendly kind of fun. But as the song became more popular, got adopted by different generations, that rocking probably took on new meanings, mirroring how culture itself changed.
Right. Imagine listening to this in the '70s. Peak disco fever. You'd picture people doing the hustle around the tree in their bell-bottoms and platform shoes. That's a whole different kind of rocking.
Absolutely. And in the '80s, it'd be all about headbanging with your hairspray helmet hair.
Totally. And now, who knows what kind of rocking goes down around Christmas trees these days? I bet things get pretty wild.
I wouldn't doubt it. But even with all those shifting interpretations, the heart of the song remains the same, right? It's about celebrating the holidays, having fun with the people you care about, making memories.
It's about that pure joy and excitement that Christmas brings. The kind that makes you want to dance around a sparkly tree, no matter how old you are or what decade you're stuck in.
Exactly. And that's the secret sauce, the reason this song has stood the test of time. It captures that universal feeling of holiday cheer, the stuff that transcends generations and trends.
It's a reminder that even though the world's a crazy, ever-changing place, some things stay the same. like the power of music to bring people together and make us feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
It's a classic for a reason. It speaks to something like deep down inside all of us.
Damn straight. Well, folks, there you have it, the wild ride of Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. From its humble beginnings to its record-breaking chart climb, this song proves that sometimes the best things in life take a little time to truly shine.
It's like finding a hidden gem, you know, something that's been there all along, just waiting for its moment to sparkle.
So this holiday season, crank up Brenda Lee, grab your loved ones, and rock the hell around that Christmas tree.
And don't forget to check out some of those covers we talked about. You might be surprised by what you discover. It's kind of crazy how, like music captures a moment in time, but then takes on a whole new life as time goes on.
Yeah, it's like the song itself is rocking around the Christmas tree of history,
Mm.
getting bumped and jostled by different eras and trends, but always coming back to that core feeling of like holiday cheer.
I like the song as a time traveler, picking up new baggage along the way.
Waggage, yeah, good word for it.
Mm.
Like, think about how rocking around the Christmas tree is used in like movies and TV shows.
Oh, yeah, it's everywhere. Sometimes it's played straight, just adding to that warm, fuzzy feeling of the scene.
But sometimes it's used, like, ironically, right? Like in those horror movies, when something creepy is about to happen and they play this, like, upbeat Christmas tune,
Mhm.
it's like, oh, shit, something bad's coming.
Exactly. That, like, juxtaposition just amps up the tension, makes the scary stuff even creepier.
It's like the songs become this cultural shorthand, You hear those first few notes, and you instantly know what kind of vibe the scene is going for.
And that's the mark of a truly, iconic song, isn't it? It's woven into the fabric of our culture, pops up in the most unexpected places.
Damn right. It's like a Christmas chameleon blending into any situation, any genre.
Speaking of genres, we've talked about a lot of covers, but there's one we haven't mentioned yet that I think you'll appreciate.
Oh, yeah. Lay it on me.
Remember Mannheim Steamroller? Those guys who, basically invented New Age Christmas back in the 80s.
Yeah, those synth-heavy, orchestral-sounding Christmas tunes. My mom used to blast that shit every December.
Well, guess what? They covered Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree.
No way, seriously. Those dudes were all about sweeping strings and, ethereal synths. Not exactly a rockin' vibe.
I know, right? But their version is pretty wild. It's like they took Brenda Lee's original and threw it into a time warp, turning it into this, epic, futuristic Christmas symphony.
Man, I gotta hear this. It's like the ultimate clash of Christmas styles.
It's definitely unexpected, but somehow it works. It shows you how this one song can be stretched, molded, and reimagined in ways you'd never imagine.
It's like the song's a Christmas tree itself, adorned with all these different musical ornaments, each one adding its own unique flavor.
And that's what keeps it fresh and exciting, even after all these years. There's always a new interpretation to discover, a new way to experience that familiar feeling.
Well said. This whole deep dive has been a real eye-opener. I thought I knew Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, but it turns out this song has more layers than a goddamn fruitcake.
It's a deceptively simple song, but once you start, peeling back those layers, you realize how much history, culture, and emotion are packed into those 4 minutes.
Damn right. It's a reminder that even the most familiar things can surprise you, that there's always more to learn and discover, even about a goddamn Christmas song.
And that's the beauty of curiosity, isn't it? It keeps us, engaged, keeps us asking questions, keeps us learning.
Well said, my friend. Well said.
Eh.
All right, folks, that's a wrap on this deep dive into Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. We laughed, we learned, we maybe even shed a tear or two. Just kidding.
Oh.
Who cries over a Christmas song?
And a festive journey, that's for sure.
You know it. So this holiday season, as you're rocking around your own Christmas tree, remember the wild ride this song has taken, all the different meanings it's gathered along the way, and maybe, just maybe, it'll make that rockin' even more meaningful.
Cheers to that.
Cheers. Until next time, stay curious, stay festive, and keep on rockin'.